Hello and welcome to the Design Series. I'm Gabe Matthews, Executive Creative Director of Concore Design, an agency that focuses on creative direction and industrial design. I wanted to put together a video series that would focus on understanding the design process and how to think creatively about solving problems and coming up with unique solutions. Let's start by defining design. I know this has been done 1,000 times over, but to help with the context of what we're talking about, it's good that everybody's on the same page. Sure, there are all sorts of quotes out there that define design, lines such as, design must make people think, or design is the diaper of society, or design will save the world, but these don't really package it up in a way that's inclusive. The problem with these definitions is that it makes it sound like it's some sort of elite technical superpower that only a few thick-rimmed, turtleneck-wearing Scandinavians possess. No offense to Scandinavians, lovely people. Design ultimately ends up exposing itself as a smaller component of a larger system. Sure, design is important, but that's not really the whole story. Behind the scenes in the professional environment, there are account managers, engineers, marketing teams, directors, and dozens more that ultimately help influence the final outcome. At home, the freelance designers are often scurrying to get the next gig and often bend their will to succumb to client changes to keep them happy. Design students get their input from teachers and classmates and what they think is peak style by paging through last year's catalog of award-winning designers. My absolute favorite definition of design that I've come across comes from Bruce Mau. He states it as the human capacity to plan and produce desired outcomes. I think this is a great synopsis for talking about the design process as a whole. You want to do a thing, so you plan, produce, and execute. And that's exactly what this series aims to accomplish, to enable anybody to understand the creative process and the landscape of design so they can use it for themselves. The truth is, everyone has subjective taste, everyone has an opinion, and everyone designs their day-to-day while artisanally borrowing from artifacts from various industries such as fashion, consumer electronics, the automotive industry, music, and this creates sort of an assemblage of their personalities as they'd like to be seen by the rest of the world. If you're trying to become a better designer that creates things for people, you have to understand something. Your designs are never going to live solely in an impossibly clean environment and used by impossibly beautiful people that have impossibly impeccable, uniformly branded lives. Commercials are for commerce. Reality is for the rest of us. Look, life is a messy gambit of things that break, don't fit well, get lost, and are designed to go out of date within a matter of years, months, or even weeks. Some designers know that you have to borrow from other industries such as art, fashion, music, and so on to stay hip and cool, but the tangible goods in one's life are always going to be marketed as something that needs to be updated with the seasons. But those little solutions, the ones that use to hold wires together, or the way we dog-ear miscellaneous papers to mark them important, or the way we hold our coffee cup on the dashboard with a roll of tape, or the way that you organize your shoes by the front door. Those are the design decisions that normal and everyday people produce that work perfectly to their needs with minimal effort. It's this definition of design that I'm talking about. There are two great books by IDEO called Thoughtless Acts and Everyday Engineering that takes a voyeuristic look at how people passively solve their everyday little problems without ever having to buy anything. I recommend checking out a copy and seeing if there's anything in there that you can relate to. So how do you customize your day-to-day experience? Do you put your mail in your mouth while holding your coffee and dance with your keys before you get into the house? Do you staple your dress pants in lieu of getting them hemmed because you just don't have time to do that today? Do you wind up putting your coffee on top of your car in order to save a hand to open the door? Tell me about it. The next time you're out and about, take note of the ways that people create solutions in the moment to fix the problems around them. In the meantime, just look around your house and see all the little subconscious acts that make your life a little easier. Even if you're not aware of it, you'll start to notice the logic and thought process of the way things are set up around you, and you might begin to learn about your own personal design decisions in a very intimate way. Send me some of your thoughts. I'd love to know what and how you define design. This is an invitation that I know is sort of a bottomless pit of potential comments, but I love hearing people's responses to this as it opens up my mind to new ways to think about the role of design in our lives. Thanks so much. See you next time.